Good morning, everyone. Okay. Yes. Fasten your seatbelts. Here we go. I'm going to speak straight from the heart. I will not soften the edges or hide behind polite phrases. We are living in a time of extraordinary change. And if we stay asleep, the story of our future will be written by forces we never chose. I refuse to let that happen without a fight of awareness. Let me ask you something. Do you ever feel like the world you're shown each day is only a fraction of the truth? Now, when did you first sense that something about the daily news, the scrolling headlines, the endless ads just didn't add up? I look around me and I see systems built to distract, algorithms designed to keep us arguing with each other while decisions that affect billions are made behind closed doors. Now, this isn't fantasy. It's the documented reality of how power operates. History shows us again and again when people stop questioning, those with money and influence tighten their grip. I will not accept that as inevitable. I will not hand over my mind, and I invite you to stand in the same clarity. Question every source, including me. Test every claim, including the ones you already believe. Awareness is not about trading one dogma for another. It's about standing on solid ground of your own discernment. Think of the last major event that dominated the headlines. How quickly did a single narrative emerge? How swiftly were dissenting voices mocked or silenced? That speed should make you curious. True inquiry takes time. Propaganda thrives on urgency. Slow down. Investigate. Notice who benefits when panic rises. When I say people have to know what's going on, I'm not pointing at a single shadowy villain. I'm pointing to patterns, political, economic, technological, that repeat across generations. Empires may change names, but the habit of hoarding control remains the same. Here's the key. Those patterns only work when the rest of us look away. So I challenge you. Turn your attention inward and outward. Ask, where am I surrendering my agency? It is in the way I consume information, the way I vote or choose not to, the way I let fear dictate my choices. Awareness starts small. but it spreads like wildfire when we share it. I know people, some people, who hear words like hidden influence and immediately roll their eyes. Good. That reaction shows how deeply we have been conditioned to dismiss anything that doesn't fit the approved script. But you see, conditioning isn't destiny. We can unlearn it. We can stand back and see how carefully our attention is managed each day. Think about how information flows now. A few enormous platforms decide what trends, what disappears, and what earns the label of credible. I'm not saying every moderator is a part of a grand plot. I'm saying the structure itself rewards conformity. It rewards speed over depth. And when the structure is tilted, the truth becomes a casualty of convenience. Ask yourself, when was the last time you followed a story past the headline? Did you trace the funding behind the research? Did you look for who profits when fear dominates the airwaves? This isn't paranoia. It's basic literacy for a digital age. If we don't practice it, somebody else will happily write the narrative for us. I refuse to outsource my thinking. I refuse to let an algorithm decide what I care about. And I urge you to claim the same independence. Start with small steps. Diversify your sources. Talk to the people who disagree with you. Sit with discomfort. That's where real understanding begins, at the edge of what we think we know. History is a loud teacher, if we listen. Over and over, power centralizes. From ancient empires to modern corporation, the pattern is clear. A few gather wealth and influence, while the many are told it's too complicated to question. But the pattern also shows something else. When enough people awaken to their own agency, the tide turns, always. You don't have to march in the streets to start the shift. You begin by reclaiming your inner sovereignty, by noticing when you're being nudged subtly, constantly toward fear, toward consumption, toward silence. By choosing a different response, our conversation at a time, one choice at a time, the spell breaks. Let's talk about fear, because it's the favorite tool of control. Fear shrinks our vision. It makes us accept quick fixes and strong leaders who promise safety. But fear, you see, is also a signal. It's a flashing light telling us to look closer, not to obey. When the noise gets loud, breathe. Ask yourself, who benefits from the panic? Usually it's not you. I've met people who believe they're too small to matter. That is the biggest lie of all. Every major shift of history started with individuals who refused to look away. They weren't superheroes. They were ordinary people who chose awareness over comfort. You have the same power in you right now. So that's my challenge to you today. Find one subject you've been told is settled and investigate it. Investigate it with fresh eyes. Not to confirm a conspiracy, not to feed suspicion, but to practice your own discernment. Remember, this isn't about trading one set of beliefs for another. It's about stepping out of the echo chamber and standing in your own clarity. The more of us who do that, the less the old patterns of control can survive. Awareness does spread, and with it, real change. Pause with that thought. What will you choose to examine? Your next step, no matter how small, is the beginning of something vast. When I say the people have to know that something is going on, I'm not asking you to chase every rumor or believe every dramatic claim. I'm asking you to recognize how easily our perception can be steered and to reclaim the steering wheel. That's the real revolution. The quiet, relentless decision to own your own mind. Consider how language is used. Words like inevitable, normal, and expert consensus are powerful tools. They soothe us into compliance. They whisper that the debate is over, that curiosity is dangerous. But curiosity is the lifeblood of a free society. Without it, we stop evolving and start obeying. Look at the endless cycles of crises. One fades, another takes its place, and we barely have time to breathe. This constant churn is not an accident of history. It's the perfect environment for distraction. When you're exhausted, you stop asking questions. When you're afraid, you reach for authority. Break the cycle. Rest. Reflect. And when you do, you'll see the pattern for what it is. I've spent years watching how easily we're nudged into dividing against each other, left versus right, believer versus skeptic, neighbor versus neighbor. Divide and rule is as old as empires. You know, if we're busy fighting each other, we never look up to see who's quietly benefiting from the chaos. Refuse that invitation to hate. Connection is the real act of defiance. You know, technology amplifies both the danger and the possibility. Yes, algorithms can trap us into the echo chambers, but those same tools let us share ideas across continents in seconds. It's not the technology itself. It's how we choose to use it. Let's use it to build understanding, not walls. And let's talk about personal responsibility. Awareness isn't passive. It asks something of you. It asks you to vote with your time, your attention, your purposes, your purchases. It asks you to notice when you're being manipulated and to calmly say no. That might mean turning off the screen for a while. It might mean supporting local voices instead of distant corporations. It always means thinking for yourself. Some may tell you that one person can't change anything. History laughs at that claim. Every movement, every shift began when someone who said enough, someone who chose clarity over comfort. Someone like you. The ripple effect of an awake mind cannot be measured, but it can be felt. So here's my final invitation. Stay curious. Question me. Question every authority. Question even the assumptions you hold dear. Share your insights so others can learn from your journey. Your perspective might be the spark that lights another's path. We're not powerless spectators in a story written by others. We are the authors if we choose to be. The future, it's not fixed. It's shaped moment by the quality of our attention and the courage of our choices. People have to know what's going on, not because of a hidden villain demands our fear, but because truth demands our participation. Refuse easy narrative. Seek the living reality. Stand in your own sovereignty. This is how we turn awareness into freedom and how we write a future worthy of all of us. This is written by David Icke. Bless him, bless him, bless him. Thank you.